Good evening. It's Friday evening, and it only means it's time for Sid Says. Every Friday, your transfer gossip, rumours, retweets, all about Tottenham Hotspur. And with myself this week, as per last week and the week before, is Sam Spurs for Life. Good evening, Sam, and how are you?
Good evening, Sid. I'm fine, thank you. Is the stream all right? I don't know if it's lagging or anything, but seems okay at the moment. But no, I'm good, thank you. Happy so far. Transfer window is looking good. It's the 1st of July, and we've got 4 players in. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And we've discussed this many times. 1st of July, we've bought 4 players already signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours, as this song goes. Many more to come, they still reckon. There's still a couple of players in the pipeline, and I'm hearing new ones resurfacing every now and then, freebie ones. So it looks like it could be a complete overhaul. However, as much as I'm loving these new signings, we need to get some players out.
Well, players are beginning to say they want to stay and stuff. Emerson's come out literally and said did he actually say it himself, or somebody said that he's not going or doesn't want to leave the club?
Yeah.
We've seen the videos. You may have seen the videos of Tanga doing his pre-season training, looking like he's trying to get fit. I don't know if that's because he just wants to get a move or he's just trying to get back into the squad. I have no idea. But yeah, we might need to get rid of a couple of players just to allow us to get some players in, homegrown quotas and all the rest of that sort of stuff. So it's going to be interesting next few weeks. Next week, is it when they go to South Korea, or week after?
I think it was 10 days yesterday, or 10 days from today. So week after next, we're going there. But what concerns me is a lot of these players that we want to get rid of, nobody's putting in any bids. It looks like it's all, if you want to buy this player, then we want him as makeshift. Like, for example, Harry Winks was supposed to be makeshift for Richarlison, but it never transpired. Now, from what I believe, Frank Lampard must have pulled the plug on that one. I don't know, or whether it was just Tottenham saying, no, we'll just pay you the 65 and then, we'll sell Harry Winks elsewhere, or whether Everton didn't meet the valuation, which I probably believe more than anything. Probably Harry Winks is worth 300 million to Daniel Levy. So it's one of them situations. And I don't know. I mean, yes, the depth in our squad is going to be phenomenal compared to last season. But I still think we need to get rid of a lot of players. Because there's going to be a lot of unhappy players when the squads are written. Well, the squad numbers come out, because everybody wants to play, and if you're not going to be playing and you're not sold, then there's going to be a problem.
Well, I think last year kind of showed that Conte trusted a certain amount of players, even players that we thought, why is he not playing? Joe Rogan is, I was going to say Joe Rogan then, you know what I mean? Anyway. So we've got players like that. Stevie Bergwijn, another one who bit part player, now definitely wants to leave. So yeah, we don't want to have unhappy players, but then the intensity of the games is going to be more next season, obviously, with Champions League and the push for the title, which I've already said categorically that we're going for. So you're going to need players, you're going to need a depth of squad. You are going to have to rely on some players, obviously your star players, but then injuries, suspensions. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a long season. And as we've talked about, the World Cup in smack bang in between, just over the Christmas period or just before whatever it is. It's a madness. It's going to be a crazy, crazy year.
Yeah. So just before we go on to the show, and the title of the show is this a sign of intent by Conte, referring to the arrivals at Tottenham Hotspur, and the fact that we've done business before the 1st of July, we brought in 4 players. Please subscribe, please like, and please follow Paxton Road TV. I've got 17 people at the moment, so 17 likes would be tremendous. Just smash it. And there was a lot of hype yesterday a certain gentleman, pointing at no one in particular, there's a certain song with a certain lady on a massive chain and a massive ball, and she came in like a wrecking ball. And yesterday, it was the anniversary of the Armory channel, and they invited the Paxton Road crew on an hourly basis. And first up on the show was my main man here, Sam Spurs for life. And this guy came in like a wrecking ball. And I'm not joking. If you want to catch it up, man, people have clipped him. But Sam came in and Sam gave it to them. It was all them man's Arsenal mans against one man standing. And Rambo, Rocky, you can call him whatever you want. He held his own. And what rattled them, Sam? Do you want to tell them what absolutely rattled them?
They just rattled anyway. I don't know what rattled them. That's the problem. I don't know. All I was telling was some home truths, and I just got abuse. No, it wasn't really abuse. It was good fun. It was a bit of banter, but they rattled. They are rattled. They didn't like what I said. Basically, what I said was we are going to win the league or the Champions League, and that was it. Turmoil. It was like, okay, but I feel, given the facts that I said yesterday, Conte definitely in the top 5 managers in the world, in my opinion.
Don't elaborate further, because as we go into the show, I'm gonna ask. I've got a very good question I want to ask you, and I want an answer and why. And leading on from yesterday is what's gonna happen. So, intent. Conte, we've had Mourinho, we've had Pochettino, we've had I can say Redknapp, we've had Ramos, we've had Nuno, and they've not managed to get the amount of money for players in the summer window, January window, or any kind of money from Daniel Levy, in the sense, go and buy players. They've wanted, their wish list is bigger than some kids at Christmas, right? But unfortunately, sometimes what you ask for, I want something from Harrods, you get something from Primark. So that's what's been happening. Now, Conte came in after Nuno got sacked. What an absolute massive coup. Other teams were after him. We got him in. I don't know what Daniel Levy was smoking, but we managed to get him. And that has been the turnaround for Tottenham Hotspur, because where we were, but struggling, getting battered week in, week out. And if you remember, it was El Sakiko where we played Man United, and it was winner takes it all, or loser takes nothing, or loser takes everything, and the winner doesn't take anything. And we managed to lose that game and sack Nuno and got Conte. Since then, Conte has turned Tottenham Hotspur Football Club around. He's turned the fortunes of some of the players who were getting slagged off, not performing very well, to becoming, wow, this player, really? Kind of thing. And end of the season, we got Champions League, because some team down the road from Woolwich absolutely bottled it, even though they had it in their grasp. And to this day, even yesterday, they were all sat there thinking, how the hell did we not get top 4? Because we rattled them, we battered them, we destroyed them at our ground, and Newcastle then finished the job off. So it was like knock out, and then Newcastle just went bang, see you later. Anyway, now everybody was like, Conte's going to be gone into the season. Not only Tottenham fans, but other non-Tottenham fans. Everyone saying, yeah, he's not going to stay. Daniel Levy's not going to give you any money. He's not going to get the players that he wants. His wish list, forget it. You ain't going to get no one. 1st of July, we've got 4 players in, and everyone's like, oh my God, Conte is on a mission. So let's look at what's happened so far. Previously, at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, right? So we've got in Perisic on a free. Now, that was a statement of intent, in my opinion, because Perisic didn't want to leave Inter Milan. He'd done really well at Inter Milan. He won the title with them under Conte. And even I think his agent and other representatives from Italy were shocked that we got Perisic into the club. We've discussed Perisic before. Quickly, briefly, not too much into it. What kind of a signing is this guy?
Top quality signing. That's it. That's all I have to say. No
Fine.
more. Let's move on.
Signing. Yeah, let's move on. Now, this happened in June, and we're all like, yeah, wow, okay. What's going on here? Daniel Levy's bought a player even before the transfer window's opened. Wow, what's going on? And then, as buses happen, Fraser Forster comes in, goalkeeper. Everyone's saying, oh, he's 34 years old, he's finished, blah, 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 blah. As you said yesterday, we've got a Premier League experienced goalkeeper. Yeah, played 19 games last season, experience in the Prem, top keeper, and he loves to play against them lot down the road. Again, we was linked with Sam Johnson, we was linked with Pope, we was linked with Henderson. What kind of a signing is this for you?
So it's an improvement on Galini. So we needed to make sure that we had a decent, I hate to use the word backup, but he is effective because Luis is going to be the number one, and keepers, notoriously, if you've got a keeper's number one, they don't usually rotate keepers. But he will play in some games. I would imagine that they are going to have the cup games in terms of the FA Cup, League Cup, whenever they come around. And you never know, the odd league game after a Champions League, he may elect to play Forster. And I've got no problem with that because, again, he's a proven player. Is he as good as Lloris? Probably not. You know, I would say Lloris is definitely the number one France captain. But this guy's got some attributes, and I'm looking forward to at least seeing him in goal in pre-season to kind of get a feel for what he's like at Spurs. Because obviously, when you talk about players coming to Spurs, for some reason, it's an increased amount of pressure, and players go one way or the other. So we'll see what happens.
And you know the other thing as well, and we've mentioned this many times before. It's the World Cup year. They got a week before the World Cup, and they've got a week after the World Cup. Now, depending on how far France get, as Lloris as goalkeeper, if they, for example, they get to the final all the way and whatever, we know that when he comes back, if he's not fully fit, we've got a trusted Premier League goalkeeper that we can put in the sticks, right? And not worry. You know, like when Galini was in goal in the games that he played, people were worrying. But with Forster, we know we don't need to worry because he's a proven Premier League goalkeeper. So that for me is a massive plus. And like you said, Sam, we're going to need him, you know, because we're going to be playing Wednesday, Saturday sometimes or whatever. We're going to need him cups as well. So good signing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's like with his. I've not seen enough of him. Well, I've seen enough of him, but I don't see him being that keeper that plays out from the back really well. Lloris doesn't do that anyway. He's a good shot stopper. Let's see what he's like claiming crosses. He's big enough, 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is. So I would imagine, hopefully that he's commanding in the box to be able to deal with crosses, because that's one thing I would say. Lloris has got a bit of a weak spot in names. He flaps a little bit. You know, and I'm not set pieces. I'm not comfortable with him. Is this guy going to be better? We'll see. But at least the other thing it will do is it will give Lloris a bit more competition. You know, at least we brought Joe Hart in to do that, but Joe Hart just wasn't at the races. Galini again was brought in maybe to push Lloris, but no, not good enough. So let's see what happens with this guy. But he's going to play. He's going to play games for us, 100%.
Absolutely. And then, as we were all sort of celebrating 2-3Bs, a lot of fans were still going into meltdown saying, where's this statement signing? And there's a certain person on our group as well, always on about this certain statement, £90 million pipes. But, you know, and we thought, okay. But a lot of fans were like, yeah, but we've already got 2 signings and the window's not even open. So, you know what? Let's have faith. Let's believe in what Conte is doing. Let's believe in PRTv. And then, out of nowhere, Yves Bissouma, a lot of clubs were after him. Make no mistake, he can probably get into he can get into the top 6, any one of the top 6 clubs in the Prem. Phenomenal player. He's only 25 years old. And he signs for £35 million, and it's pandemonium. And obviously, you're one of them as well. But what an I mean, this for me was a statement signing. The fact that he chose Spurs, right? Other clubs did come in for him, and everyone's going to say, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Them lot down the road said they done all the scouting and everything, and we nicked him from him. But at the end of the day, he wanted Champions League football, and he could have gone City, he could have gone to live Man United. Well, Man United not Champions League, but Chelsea. But he chose Spurs, and that for me, you know what a signing. And I know you've been waxing lyrical about him, so I'll let you wax lyrical a bit more about him. What kind of a statement is this one for you?
Game changer. It's a game changer. And let me tell you why. The guy's 25 years of age, and yeah, he's played for Brighton. Before that, he was, where was he? French club, wasn't it? I can't remember the name of it. But his ability, talent-wise, is incredible. But that's not the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me is who he plays against and the performance he plays when he plays the big team. So I've done my due diligence on this guy. I looked at games, and you can't take everything from just seeing what YouTube puts, but then you watch some games, and I watched him against us when we played him twice in the FA Cup and in the league game where they beat us, and he was phenomenal. Watched him again, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, all those teams. He, if not the best player on the pitch, was certainly one of the best players on the pitch, and everybody has said this guy's going to go places. The fact that, we've had people saying, oh, we weren't in for him like the Arsenal lot, when if you go back not too long ago, they were absolutely desperate for him. So I know that this guy is going to go on to be incredible for us, and I hope that we can keep him to see the best of his career, because that's what I want to see. Because I'm saying to you now, this is the reason why I'm so confident just for this one player, but as well as the other things that have been brought in, yeah, you'll see.
Yeah.
Barring injuries and barring anything like that, obviously that's the caveat. But everything else, I've seen everything in his character to suggest that this guy's going to hit the ground running. Pre-season with Conte as well, man, it's going to be madness.
Absolutely. So 3 signing in. Spurs fans are like, what's going on here? Wow, a lot of them in shock. Can't believe we've got 3 players in already. Transfer window's not even open. Then we're linked with every single left back in the whole world. Bastoni, we've gone hammer and tongue at Bastoni. Fans going into meltdown because we're not getting him, because we're not paying. It wasn't nothing to do with that. It's the fact that he doesn't want to leave Milan. He wants to stay there no matter what. PSG have wanted him. Then you've got Skriniar, De Vrij, Guardiola. The list goes on. Botman's now gone to Newcastle, so that's someone we've missed out on. And it's just been rumbling on and on and on and on. And we've all been saying, we know what, we've got a couple of players, but we still haven't solved our defensive problems. We all know in midfield going forward, we're absolutely superb. Bissouma adds that extra bit of grit, steel. So does Perisic going forward. What we're doing at the back, come on, guys, we're not buying anyone. What's going on? People's going into meltdown. All the players that we've been linked with don't want to come to Spurs because they're probably holding out for a bigger, better move, or they just contracted and they don't want to leave. Most of them players don't want to leave. Bremer's another one. PSG are interested. Inter Milan, PSG were interested. Then Milan was saying, well, we get the Bastoni, we'll bring Bremer in. And then it's just like, you know what? You can make a TV series out of it. You can give Home and Away and Neighbours a run for their money, and EastEnders with the sagas that's going on. Bottom line is, we've still got another month and a half until September the 1st. We've still got 2 months for the window. I still believe that a left centre back will come to Spurs. Who it is, I don't know. I know Bremer's agents in London at the moment talking to Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, and whoever else he can get his hands on. But he said he only wants Champions League. So that saga, I think, is going to continue. And I think, and I said this to you the other day, I think, Sam, it's going to drag. And there's going to be one signing that we're going to do that's going to be towards the very end. I know Conte wants his players before we go to South Korea. However, I think the left centre-back one is an interesting one. The reason is, apparently, Lenglet from Barcelona has been agreed. If you believe the rumours that it's all been done deal. It's just a matter of he's on holiday, he's coming back, just crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I don't know what's going on with that one. He's a young player. There's a lot of mixed reviews. Some are saying he's crap. Some are saying, why do you think they want to get rid of him? He's rubbish, blah, blah, blah. It's a loan deal with the option to buy. What's your opinion on Lenglet if and when it actually happens?
Okay. So the fact that they're putting in a loan deal for him, they tried to loan him last season. There's a couple of reasons possibly why they want to do a loan. They're not quite sure if he's their top target. What I mean by that is they've been going after Bastoni, we talked about, and again, it's only rumours that we're going by. So I'm assuming that he's a player that's on the list because they've talked about going for him last season. So he's obviously someone that can fill that position. Whether he's the long-term target, long-term, should I say, at 27, he's in his prime, but hasn't been playing for Barcelona at this point. So there's something in that. But we can say the same thing about Kulusevski. We can say the same thing about Bentancur when they were both at Juventus. They weren't playing big parts. Maybe don't fit the system. Maybe manager, whatever it is. If Conte says, and I identify that this player, he's a player that they want, but they can't get their top targets, and I'm all for this. Get him in on loan. We've covered that. I have a sneaky suspicion that we're not going to get too many more defenders after this, i.e. we'll probably get that right wing back that we're looking for, and I think that'll be it. And if we get Lenglet, I can honestly say that we might not get another centre-back. And the reason being, I think, like with the front three, we've got Richarlison who can cover those front three positions. We've also got Perisic that could go and do a job there. In the back, we've got exactly the same. We've got our three in terms of Romero. We've got obviously Dyer, and we've got Ben Davies. Now, if you bring Lenglet in, that's going to cover that position. You still got Sanchez. You got Tanganga coming back. You still got Joe Rodon there as well.
Hold your foot on all them. I've got bits coming for that bit. I've got bits coming in for that one. You're stealing my thunder, young man. You're stealing my thunder.
No, I'm just going to say, in essence, I don't think we're going to, all this about 2 or 3 defenders coming in. I think right wing back and possibly one centre back, and that might be the long side, and that's how I see it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I still think, Bremer and Lenglet are going to happen purely because he wants to come. He said he wants to go somewhere. Now, Inter need the money, so they need to sell to buy. And the only way they're going to do that is if they sell Bastoni and they get big bucks for him and Skriniar. Right? If they get big bucks, 60, 70 million each for them two, then they can get Bremer for cut price. However, it's whether then, like I said before, it's whether Bastoni wants to leave or whatever. Anyway, that's that. For me, Bremer will probably go somewhere because he said it. It's just a matter of who wants to give him the best package and where he wants to end up in terms of what the players he's got, stuff like that. So it's going to happen somewhere. It's just a matter of what his agent wants to do and whether Daniel Levy is willing to pay what they want. That signing could be a statement of intent for me. However, this show is about Conte and the intent he's now showing to Tottenham and the Premier League to say, as you've said already yesterday and today, I want to win the league. I want to win the Champions League. So before we move on to what happened last night, this morning in terms of the transfer activity, let's have a quick recap, or let's just go through the comments because there's a lot of people comments. Thank you very much everyone who's joined us tonight. Please, like I said, please smash that like button. I'm sure you guys are following us because there's a lot of names on there that I see that are on Paxton Road TV, not only on Sid Says, but on Talking Points, Judge Jody, always following us, always watching out for our streams. And we thank you very much for joining us. And as always, we will continue giving and delivering the goods. So we've obviously got our very own Sean Hurl. Evening, guys. Is Rambo Sam available after taking our friends at the Armory TV? Martin Wild, good evening. Our squad depth is going to be better than I can remember. And we're going to go into that a little bit because I've said this statement a few times and I'm going to reiterate at the end as well. Bertie Hotspur, big up Sid and Sam. Come on, you Spurs. Solo 7 TMU8, big up Sam and Sid. Sean Hurl again saying Operation Strength and Length is in progress. Okay. Canis from down the road, big up guys. And he then also said Sam causing havoc. It wasn't havoc. It was just being honest and truthful. Solo saying here, Sam saying you are going to win the league killed me. Do you want to reply to that one?
Nope. I'm just going to wait now. I said it. I'm not taking it back. I don't know if people want me to actually go, I was only joking. No, I'm not joking. Exactly. I'm not joking. I told the truth. I'm saying it like it is.
Absolutely. Sean Hill, I think, and Canis have agreed of it. So you never clipped it. Come on, brother. Sam answered the question, and we heard you laughed from Woolwich. Martin Wiley saying here, by the sounds of things, Lenglet won't be far behind Richarlison. I was expecting Lenglet to be honest today, but let's see if it does or not.
I don't think so, because they did what is it called, Richarlison, about 9 o'clock this morning. You have to think it's PR. There's PR behind all of this. If they do everything too quickly, then we're gonna. It's like Christmas, isn't it? You don't open all your Christmas presents all at once. You take your time, and then you might get one a bit later on, and then you're happier. That's what we're gonna be happier. So yeah,
you don't want to do what them lot down the road have done and take a player into an empty stadium to take his press shot, so that player knows that this stadium is empty, so this is what you're going to be used to. Yeah, whereas we do it proper. Sean Hill, Perisic's fitters F.K. Stats last season off the roof, scored winning Italian Cup last year, 100 plus caps for Croatia. Bertie Hotspur, Conte wants to sign his players' armpits, already getting ready for the parades. Let's go.
He wants to see the armpits. He wants to do some of this.
That's right. That's right. Cuba99, good evening. Big up Sam and Sid. Sorry, I've not been on much lately. There are so many damn Spurs shows out there now. It's impossible to keep up. I agree with you. But Paxton Road TV should be number one.
Some are better than others, Cuba. Some are better than others.
Absolutely. Marlon Green, evening, gents. Audio Artisan is saying, thing that worries me is that Conte always leaves teams in a better state than he found them. Is this season going to be Conte's parting gift?
It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing to leave. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. If he's building something for the next manager to come on, and because all these players we're signing are going to be decent contracts, so it's going to be interesting. But I don't think he's going to be going into this season. Just
going back to the point about you mentioned at the very start of the stream about where we are with Conte, and Conte, since he joined in November, obviously made us top 4, blah blah blah. But we can't underestimate the actual achievements and the work that's gone behind the scenes with PRTv. He joined June the 1st last year, so he's been in a job just over a year now, and he's had obviously the summer window, which we didn't even have a manager at the time, and so that was going to be difficult. Then we got Nuno in, and we had certain players that it looked like we were going for those young, talented, maybe got some sell-on value later on in their career. We got the Brian Hills, we signed him, Reguilons, we got in all this sort of players. Now, I think Conte and PRTv working together, having done that before, there is so much direction. So I'm happy that if Conte does leave, we're in a better position. But PRTv is a key as well.
100%. Because, like I said, without Conte just makes the list and gives it to him, yeah. But it's down to PRTv to go and do the deals, and he's delivering. And another point that's been proven. You leave, Daniel leaves to go and do a deal. Man is now haggling over £1 million for Jed Spence from Forest.
Let's see what that might be. All paper talk. We don't know. We don't know. I think that deal's going to happen. It's going to happen. But, we'll see.
But again, I just think it should have been done and dusted. I mean, is this going to be another Tomiyasu situation where we go after him hammer and tongue, and then for whatever reasons it doesn't happen? I don't know. Because
I think like this. I'll be brief on this one. Unless another Premier team comes in for him, the only team he's likely to go to potentially is going to be Forest, where he was last season from Middlesbrough, because they were in the Premier League. So unless like an Arsenal or I don't know, I don't think any big team's going to come in for him. So he wants to come to Spurs. Doesn't look like he wants to go to Forest. Forest, I don't think are going to have 20 million to spend. So if we're going by the reports, that's what we wanted. Spurs maybe offer something like 15. They've said it's 16, and so I can understand now what they're just saying. Right, he's a championship player, unproven. We're going to put this money down. Yeah, it might only be 1 or 2 million to us, but the principle is the principle. If we start overpaying for championship players, you know, we can start getting into all kinds of areas. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. So if we have to wait this one out, the player, Middlesbrough could have an unhappy player on their hands. They can't sell him anywhere else. They can't get the money they wanted. So they're going to have to sell to us at some point. That's what I think is going to happen.
Let's see. Wait, right. 30 Hotspur is saying here, so true, Sid. Inter has to sell. They need the money. Sean Hurl, extend Lennox stats to Sevilla, and his metrics are better than Torres, Bastoni, and Guardiola. NS Sports TV, big up. Hi, big up. As good parting gift for Conte would be that he ends your trophy drought. That is 100%. 100%. And I was asked a question yesterday on the Armory, and I said to them, top 3, and we have to win a trophy next season. Have to win a trophy, simple as, you know. Kind of the same, perhaps actually more like parakeet. Let's see if all gels. Let's see. It's gonna gel. Bentancur and Kulusevski. You guys, everybody was saying, what were they saying about Kulu and Bentancur? Not gonna happen. What gonna happen? And then them man yesterday, what were they saying? Whoa, Kulusevski! Wow, we should have got him. So you know what? It will gel. Don't worry, it will gel. Right. So that's the comment so far. Before we move any further, and the intent part of Conte's, obviously yesterday was the big, or this morning was the big, massive statement. We done the show last week and we discussed Rafinha or Richarlison. You was always in Rafinha's boat, and then after the show, you was like, maybe now Richarlison.
That was the other way around. It was Richarlison, then it was Rafinha. You kind of convinced me to go for Rafinha.
That's right. Yeah. There's a lot of fans out there still, I think, still in doubt about Richarlison and what he's going to bring to us. You know, okay, Rafinha would have brought us the skills and that, but as mentioned many times, and even yesterday, this guy, what he brings to the team, the commitment, the passion, the shithousery for me, you know, 60 million, it's still a lot of money, but 25 years old, he plays forward, midfield, attacking, 5'10". Last season, 30 matches, 10 goals, 5 assists. So it was a goal every 3 games. But 60 million for Richarlison, that is an intent. That is a statement to pay 60 million pounds for a striker, who's going to come in. He can play alongside Harry Kane, or when Harry Kane's a little bit fatigued or something, you know, we know we've got somebody like Richarlison that could come in. You can play on the right, you can play on the left. So now we've got him. Your honest opinion now is what on regards to Richarlison?
I think it's probably a little bit too much money, but I'm not going to complain that we've got him, because I think he's a player that we needed. I think he's a player that fits exactly the system. The more I think about it now, the more and more a good a deal it seems. Even though Rafinha probably a more talented player, but if we look at the 3 players, if we're going to compare 3 players who've been talked about recently, Jesus, Richarlison, and Rafinha. Richarlison is the one that's got that central striking position for Brazil, and I think he wants to keep that. He's a sort of player that when he plays for the opposition, you don't like him. You think he's not a good. He's just a nuisance, but you'd love him to play for you, because the Watford fans have said that, the Everton fans have said that, and the fact that they, you know, Everton have sent out the Twitter that they've done about thanks for, you know, for all the memories, and they're losing their best player. And the stats, their matches, 30 in the Premier League, 10 goals, 5 assists, might not seem as impressive to some. But if you think about it, he was the one that was I think there was a stat to say they only won 1 game without him in the team, and that was against Norwich, a relegated team. So you can see the importance of someone like that, even if you go by thinking that he might not have been the reason why they lost the other games or whatever it is. But the fact is, now we've got him, he's going to be a very, very important player, because he can fill those holes in the front line. When we had Vinicius, you wouldn't really have wanted to see Vinicius out on that wide area, although he could play wide. He just didn't seem right. I've seen Richarlison play on the left, I've seen Richarlison play on the right, and I've seen him play on the middle. He's going to stretch defenses. He's going to give, as you said, an opportunity for Kane to have a rest, Son to maybe, come out of a game. Even Kulusevski's, nobody should be feeling, well, I've got my shirt. And that's what Conte wants. So I hope Richarlison goes on and does this for us and really pushes his career. 25 years of age, perfect time.
It's true. And the other thing as well is, if you look at his stats compared to Jesus, he's got better stats than Jesus. And he's not the out-and-out striker. Dominic Calvin, DCL was their main striker. And how majority of the season he was injured. So he had to do a lot of groundwork. He had to do a lot, not only assisting, scoring the goals, and he was asked so much to do. And in the end, he delivered, because single-handedly, last couple of games, was it last 5-6 games? He scored about 6 goals. That virtually kept Everton in the Prem. Without them goals.
The other thing I just wanted to add, sorry, because you can go on to that point about the goals as well. The other thing I wanted to add about Richarlison, I know the deal's expensive, but the fact is the player has accepted it. There was touting around the Jesus thing for us as well, but we all kind of felt that wasn't going to happen because Jesus literally wants to be the main man at his next club. He can do that at Arsenal. For Richarlison to actually sign for Spurs, knowing who we've got in our front line, Kulusevski, Son, Kane, and they would have seen last season how those three played, you might think to yourself, unless you've got the mentality, you might think, I'm not going there because I'm not going to get much game time. And we've seen that with the likes of people like Steven Bergwijn. Maybe the attitude's not quite right. He's a big money signing. He's still coming to Spurs. And I think it's the mentality that we're going to really appreciate. This guy, shithousery, but wants to win, and he's going to fight for that place. So, yeah, bring it on.
And going on to the next bit, this is going to be the bit where we're going to discuss the intent by Conte with the purchases that he's got. Because last season, and we've discussed this, we discussed the games where Conte looked at the bench and he went, nah, I ain't got anyone on that bench that I can trust to come on to win me the game or change the game. And then he stuck with the players. And we saw in many games, Kane got knackered, Son was knackered, Højbjerg was knackered, Dyer was knackered, right? Players were knackered, but purely because Conte didn't trust or look at the bench and thought, nah, man, these guys are not going to do it for me. So, and I've said this many times, and I think I was watching Sky Sports News this morning, and they were talking about Richarlison and everything and other players that we was going to get. And one of the things they did say was exactly what I've been saying. Conte now will look at that bench and he'll be able to trust them players on the bench because he knows they're experienced players that he will be able to trust to come onto the pitch. So that brings me on to my next slide. So now, if you look at that now, yeah. So we've got Lloris as the main man, Forster as his backup. Got Doherty at the moment. I think it's going to be Doherty, Royal as his backup. You got Romero, Sanchez as his backup. You got Dyer, Rodon as the backup, Lenglet, and maybe whoever. Then you got Ben Davies as well. So then you got Says, Reguilon. We don't know what's going on with Reg. In the middle, now we've got 4. So we've got Bentancur, Højbjerg, Bissouma, and Ollie Skip. Because don't forget, Ollie Skip's got to come back from injury. So he's now coming back. Then on the right, we've got Moura, Kulu. On the left, we've got Son. And I put Perisic in between the left wing backs and Son because he can do both them roles. And then up top now, we've got Kane, we've got Richarlison, but Richarlison can go all the way across that 3. Now, is this squad, looking at this squad now, is this a squad of intent? Is this something now Conte is showing that, listen, this is intent now. This is my squad and it's going to get better. But now I've got players in every single position that I know I can trust.
So I think that's the obvious answer to the question. Yes. The reason being, obviously, the players that are being brought in have been through Conte, it appears, and Paratici working together to identify players for the system and players that can play in that system, and also the mentality and aggression. I think you can see from the players that we've got, Richarlison, aggressive, Basuma, defensive midfielder, aggressive, can play that whole role. Perisic, not afraid. You can see that mentality as well is there. I would say you've forgotten about potentially Yaphet Tanganga. So I would actually look at Yaphet Tanganga as maybe the understudy to Romero, and Sanchez could probably go across that whole back three, because we've seen him play those three positions. He's played central, he's played right, and he's played left. Not to say he's the best player at doing any of those, and I don't really want to see him on that left side of the back three, but again, he can do, and Conte trusts him because he's played him in those games. Again, we're looking at Reguilon. Is Reguilon going to stay? I think if he does stay, that's brilliant for us to have three people fighting out for a wing-back spot, because you can put Perisic in there. But Perisic, again, he can be pushed up in the front area, so he's pushing for a place in the team for a front place. Then you look at the right. If we get a right wing-back in, and it's looking like it's going to be a Jed Spence, but if they pull something out the irons, that could be like a real, wow, Hakimi. Well, that could be, but that's not probably like to happen. I'm just saying.
In the house.
If something like that was to happen, we'd all lose our shit. So I think you can see, if you took any one of those players out of that position, it's still a very strong team. You could take Son out, put Perisic in there, brilliant. Take Kane out there, Richarlison, gives you different options, gives you that forward running in behind. You could. I look at Lucas Moura. Oh, Lucas Moura. Anyway, I'm not going to say no more. But that's enough now. I've said enough.
Yeah. But the thing is now, last season, he was looking at that bench, right? And he was like, okay, what do I do here? Because now, Perisic could be on the bench. Basuma could be on the bench. Bentancur could be on the bench. Richarlison could be on the bench. So straight away, that, Forster's on the bench. So that's 5 players straight away. Because remember, we'll have 5 subs as well. Mm-hmm. That's 5 quality players already on the bench. Then obviously Sanchez is going to be on the bench. Reggie. So to me, it's looking very good at the moment. And them 4 in the middle, right, is going to be decisive for me, because he's going to mix them around, because they're 4 different, not mentalities, but they've got different attributes that he can use. Like Basuma, we know in big games last season, he commanded, right? He against us, against Liverpool, I think against City as well.
Chelsea. You watched the Chelsea game. He played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. He murdered them. Absolutely.
This is it. And that then probably frees up Bentancur to create a little bit more, do whatever. Now, looking at that squad, maybe we're going to add Lenglet, 99%. Spence is coming in as well. So that's 2 extra players. Is there still a deficiency? Is there still something we're missing? Or do we still... I know you're going to say LCB, right? We know that already.
Yeah, I would also add to that, if you look at this formation, it is clearly... I know it's a little bit out of shape, but it's a 3-4-3 formation. What I want to know is, can we change that formation? Because Conte has played a 3-5-2, and he did play that at Inter, and he did have and utilize Eriksen in there. Now, if we need to change, because in Europe, we might have to change the way we play. We might even have to go to a back 4 at time. Who knows in games, because we might be... I don't know. So that adaptability is the only question mark that I've got with regards to Conte and utilizing the players that we've got in this squad. I look at the players now and think, in a 2-man midfield, Basuma and Bentancur excites me no end, because I think they are complement each other, because they've both got phenomenal talent. But as you said, Basuma could do that more defensive role, but can also go forward. Bentancur can do that defensive role, but also be a box-to-box midfielder. And I want to see him go forward more. So that will allow it if that's the case. But have we got the ability to adapt to a different formation, a different shape, depending on the tactics that are required and the opposition? I think pre-season may prove some of that, hopefully.
Right. So the other thing I was going to say, I think you briefly just mentioned it. The players he's bringing in, is Conte now thinking, you know what, last season, with what I had, I managed to get top 4. Right? I got us Champions League football. I deep down now, I can think if I get the extra players that I want, the players that I want, I can challenge. And you've said we're going to win the league and Champions League, one or the other. I've said top three at least the minimum, and I also said that we're going to give Liverpool and Man City a run for them at Dosh. The biggest talk all last season with not only Paxton Road TV but all the Spurs channels and other people was what you've just said, adaptation of the formation. He's obviously stuck to his 3-4-3, which he likes, two wing backs, two in the middle, three at the back. Players he's buying now, does that, in your opinion, does it make you think that Conte is now looking at adapting, changing formations as and when he needs to, depending on the game, the scenario? Like you said, Champions League is not always going to work 3-4-3 because European teams are going to play a different system. Prem games as well, where certain games where you don't necessarily have to play 3-4-3, you can adapt it to 4-4-2, or you can go, 3-5-2, or what you said for, one at the top, whatever. Do you think he's now buying in players thinking that as well?
I think he's buying talented, adaptable, mentally strong, physically able players. That's what I'm seeing he's doing. Perisic, 33, has the stats of a 20-something-year-old. Basuma, 25. We've seen what he can do. We've talked about that already. Richarlison, the same sort of thing. Aggressive, pressing from the front, all the rest of that. The beauty of this is that those players I've mentioned, Perisic can play multiple positions. Richarlison, multiple positions. Basuma, not just a defensive midfielder, is a box-to-box, could probably play in any team in world football, in my opinion, again. So you're looking at the players that you get. Yes, they fit the system that we currently are playing, the 3-4-3, and they fit them well, but they're adaptable in that. So we can change mid-game. And this is the things that I want to see. I want to see that from Conte. If we're down, if teams are blocking us up, if we've got low blocks to face and we can't get through with the two mid, have we got somebody else that can come on that's a bit more creative that can do that? Have we got the ability to have someone stretch defenses, maybe come in and do something else that's different to the other that we've got? Yeah, I think we've got that ability now. So I'm again, I'm going to say repeating myself. The reason I'm so confident is because it was almost like a misinterpretation of what Conte said, and I'm almost misinterpreting. He said something like about we've only got a 1%. If you've got a 1% chance of winning the league, that's what he's going to do. He's going to go for it. And I thought that means he's only got a 1% chance. I think that's not very good. It says if he's got any sort of chance, given players that he wants to get in to win the league, that's what he's going to do. So I'm saying to myself, Conte's not going to go into the season saying to his players, you know what? Let's have a good one. Let's have a good cup run. Let's get top 3. No, he's going to say, let's win every single match we play. If we win every single match we play, we win everything. In impossibility, some would say, yes, probably is so. But if we take that mentality into the games that we know we should have won last season, the Brightons, the Southamptons, the Wolves, the Arsenal games are away. Imagine what we could have been had we had Conte at the start and had we had the preseason and had we had that confidence and some of these players. This is why I'm looking at it and saying, come on, we finished off. And people saying, oh, well, look at the points difference you've got to make up. Right, so the points difference between when Conte came in and at the end of the season was only a few points between City and Liverpool. So if you take that over a whole season, we're probably within about 4 or 5 points of them. So come on, people, stay with me on this one. We're going to win the league.
Yes, good evening. rumour TV have joined us tonight, Sam. So we'll say good evening, Paxton Road. And they've also said, get that chest out again, Sam. Get that chest out. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I mean, the intent is there. He's making a statement now because obviously the statement is no other manager managed to get any money out of Daniel Levy in the transfer windows to go and get the players that wanted. As much as what Poch done under, with what he had, the fact that he took us to the Champions League final and he always said, I want more players. After that Champions League final, he changed the players and got into players that he wanted. Who knows what Poch could have done? It never happened. However, then we brought in a proven manager who likes to win titles, who likes, he's no messing around with players and stuff like that. and we've already known last season, a lot of Spurs players have said that this guy is just some next level. His fitness, his, and he puts his arm around players, he guides them, he talks to them. So for me, that is, making a statement. And now he's obviously gone to Daniel Levy, sat down with him, Paratici, and said, right, guys, this is what we've done. We've got ourselves into the Champions League. We didn't think we was going to get into that. We've got in there. We now give me what I want. I want to now make a proper statement. Maybe I want to get Spurs where they should be, start winning trophies, get the fans. I mean, fans are second to none. We fill them stadiums in, week out. We absolutely hammer them, right? And, the fans are behind them no matter what. I mean, a lot of fans now are already so excited what's happening. And they're already looking forward to the first game of the season at Southampton because everyone like yourself, Sam.
Same.
My
fellow season ticket holder.
That's right. And you know what? Yeah. We'll be there with our chest out, with our Paxton Road hoodies and T-shirts, and we'll be there. And why not? Confidence. We have to be confident because Conte is building something at Tottenham, and we know Conte wins. If you give him what he wants, he wins.
Conte can't. As I said, I'm not going to claim I've coached football at the levels that they've coached. Obviously not. But what I will say, you're still going to try to use a similar type of traits. I don't go into any football game thinking, I'm going to try. I want to win every single game, regardless of the opposition. I want to win. That's the mentality you've got to have. So every team sets out with their agenda. Some might have an agenda to survive. Yeah, we know that because they haven't got the quality. But if you're talking about the top 6, 7 teams, maybe 8 teams, even the likes of someone like West Ham, who we've seen have improved, they're probably going to go into the season. Yeah, we've got a good shot at this. If we get a bit, you never know. Leicester, and we always go back to that Leicester thing. I know that's probably a bit of a one-off, but it happened. Leicester the season before, fighting relegation, then they won the league the next season. It's not an impossibility. If you've got a good manager and you've got a good set of players and you've got a bit of luck and you can also navigate all the pitfalls it can be in a season of football, you never know what's going to happen at the end of it. And Conte knows this because he's proven he can do that and takes teams not from obscurity, but certainly from a position of less strength and has made them stronger. I'm so excited about pre-season. The pre-season games for me is what I'm looking forward to seeing because I will be able to say, okay, right, I see what that player's doing. I can see where he's playing. I can see, and then we're going to see how we can develop our team. And come that first game of the season against Southampton, when we're singing in the sand, Sid, we're singing loud. Yeah,
we'll be there. We're the Paxton, we're the Paxton, we're the Paxton, Tottenham. That's what we'll be saying.
Wicked.
So 4 in, Spence and Lenglet still to come in. Like I said at the beginning, it's going to happen. So that's 6 in, and there's still players rumored, linked. Lingard's been linked again today on a free. You know what I mean? So there's still players being linked, and I don't think it's. I did say the other day that I don't think we're going to get anyone in, but I still think players will come in. Whether we, like you said, whether we get that statement left centre back or whether we get that big, massive statement signing, who knows? But then again, Paratici's cooking. Let him do what he wants to do. And who knows? Who knows?
I'm thinking 2 more players. I'm thinking the 2 players that you mentioned, Spence and Longley. And if we was to get 1 more centre back, that would be good. But I really and truly don't know if we will. And the reason we may, but I think he won't get before pre-season. I think Conte's really pushed to get these players in before pre-season because you can imagine if you don't get someone like Jed Spence until the season starts, he's already behind the curve. He's a championship player. He's not Prem proven, so he's going to be behind the curve of not having had pre-season. You want the likes of Perisic already knows about pre-season, so I don't think he's too worried about that. But the likes of Basuma, the likes of Richarlison, you want them players in before they go away because they are going to play very important parts in this squad going forward, and you want them ingrained. The lucky thing for us is we've got some Brazilians in our team, so Richarlison can join his mates. He can join his mates Lucas and Emerson. That's all good. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I think it's really good that we got business done. July 1st. Come on, man. When have we done this?
I know. And we still got 2 months left. 2 months left.
2 months.
We've got people in the comment section, and we've got Rika K as well, and she's saying here We as Spurs fans need to be ambitious and demand our club to challenge for the title. Come on, Kane and Son, in their prime, deserve this.
That's the sort of
100%
attitude we
and
need, man.
Sam will totally agree with you. We need to be ambitious.
That's the attitude. We got top four last. We've been second in the last however many years. We've been second twice, a couple times. You know, we've been Champions League runners up. You know, we've done this in the last 5 to 6 years. It's not like it's been people say, oh, you not won something in 1961, all the rest. I get all the league thing, but if you look at what we've done, the transition over the period of the last 10 years or so, it's been pretty consistent. We've had some blips in there, we know. However, if you look at the consistency of being in and around that top 6, top 4, as I said, pushing for Champions League, with the players that we've now got and the manager that we've now got and the stadium and all the infrastructure and all the rest of it, what better opportunity for us to be confident? Not to say it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's going to happen because you have to be. You have to say it. There's no point in saying, oh, I don't think Pep Guardiola goes into any season saying, or Klopp goes, you know what? They don't do that.
No, that's right. You've got to be ambitious. You've got to deep down think, you know what? I can win this. We can win the title. We can challenge them. And Conte now is probably thinking, you know what? I can. And I will.
And he will. That's the point. We will aim for it. We will have to aim for it. There's no other thing to aim for than win every single game. That's the mentality 100%. I want to see from these players.
And on that note, we're going to end the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking about Tottenham again and our new signings and the intent of Conte.
Look at the smiles.
As Ridweeka said, we as Tottenham fans, we demand our team. And like you said, Sam, you demand and you're saying we're going to challenge for the title and we're going to win the title. If not, we're going to win the Champions League. So yes, all the Spurs fans should be confident. We, under Conte, with the players that we've got, most of them in their prime, we should be challenging next season. And we've got one of the best managers in the world. We need to go out there and we need to put and make a statement. And now Conte is making a statement with these signings, and there's plenty more to come. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all your comments. Please smash that like button. Follow us, subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with plenty more. We've got Judge Geordie coming back, and we've got
Monday
plenty of other things going on. And Sam's going to tell us about what's coming back next week.
Talking Points is back on Monday. And as the controversy continues, I think what's it titled? Is this Spurs' year to win the Premier League? What no better title than we've got. So it's going to cause controversy. I know people are laughing. I know people are having a bit of a hysterics. The Arsenal fans are giving me grief. I'm a big man. I can take it. I don't mind. Click me up. I'm not bothered. Because I know for one thing, we're going to be above you lot this season. That's a fact. And I got it out of them yesterday. They said of the people that are going to drop out of the top 4, it's more likely to be Chelsea for them to get in. So that tells me everything I need to know. Woolwich, good luck.
And just on a final thing, all I'm going to say, and I'm going to end it on that, right? I'm going to get everything ready to end it. We dreamed. We dared. Now it's time to do. On that note, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.